He lives in rural Maine. It is as rural as it gets. He employs locals. He lives pretty modest.
Give me a break. This is just so ridiculous. Just like utterly ridiculous. Hello, my name is Liz Ashley and welcome to my channel. Hopefully I sound okay. My normal Rode microphone is not working and I'm getting very frustrated. So this is an old mic I have that's not that great. So today we are going to be talking about Anna Kasparian and her interview with Tucker Carlson and what has been said since and the reactions to it. So we're gonna get into that today. But first, if you want to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, all of the things. This weekend, I am going to be getting a new laptop and hopefully things that I can use to stream. I want to get a MacBook, but apparently they're not that great for streaming. I just want to do regular reacts. But I've been doing a lot of research. I'm trying not to spend too much money, but it's getting a little expensive. But I really want to be able to stream, and so that's my goal. So if you have any input or if you have any suggestions, please let me know below, because that would be extremely helpful. Because I've been losing my mind today because my normal microphone isn't working. Anyway, I already have rage because of that. Now I have rage because of this interview. Let's get into it. It's hard for me to watch Anna because I used to really like her. And so it's very hard for me to watch her nowadays. I just get very frustrated. And when this interview first came out, I was like, oh God. I was like, oh God, here we go. I had to watch it on 2x speed and I had to watch the Vanguard boys react to it because I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it by myself, just like normal speed. I also think I might have given myself a concussion today. I think I'm okay, but I'm not really sure. I don't know, man. Today's been a day. I also want to go get a tattoo later, so God. This is the Thursday before I'm posting this, FYI. It's been a day. So to me, Anna Kasparian is just essentially on the right now. I don't know. That's just my personal take. Although, like, she likes to call herself politically homeless, which, whatever. I just think that's such a silly thing. But you know, she like a few months ago or like last year at some point had a Substack announcing that she was politically homeless and that she didn't know where to go or who to be or whatever, you know, whatever. She's the victim in all of this, obviously. Sarcasm. So Anna has been going on a lot of right-wing shows lately. She does Her Take, which is a show that the PBD podcast, like, it's a part of the PBD network. Hasn't gone on a left-wing show. Actually continues to bash the left consistently. It's funny when she's in this interview conversation with Tucker Carlson that she acts like she has done nothing.
It was nothing that you specifically said. It wasn't like...
No, nothing. Nothing that I said. I mean, no one was citing anything I said during that interview that upset them.
Like, she acts like in this interview that everyone's just going after her to go after her, which I find hilarious. It's a self-victimization narrative. She is not the victim in any of this. I think she deserves most of the criticism she gets. The only time I ever thought she was the victim somewhat is when Adam threw a tampon at her on Her Take. But even then, I'm like, you put yourself in that situation and you want to be chummy with these people. You want to be chummy with people like this. And so this is what you get. Like, this is what you get. They're insanely misogynistic. Tucker Carlson, I think a week ago, was literally talking to Charlie Kirk about how women are the reason that all of our jobs went overseas because they got in the workforce. No, she would say that she doesn't agree with that. But I'm like, to what extent is she willing to keep, you know, agreeing with that? She thinks that, because I guess he asked, like, she thinks that everything came to a head when she went on Glenn Beck's show. I don't think that's true, actually. I think that, like, a year or two ago, because this has been a minute in the making, when people online, like me and other people, started calling her out, was when she started saying the birthing person thing, and that she's mad that some doctor called her a birthing person. That's when I think everyone was like, hey, like, what the hell? Like, what is wrong with you? And that's when people started clapping back. And that's when people started criticizing her. And of course, like every conservative, she decides to double down, not think about why maybe what she said was a problem, not trying to understand why trans people would be hurt by what she said. No, she continues to double down. She continues to have even more right-wing views, and that is what she did. Now, personally, in my opinion, I do think she changed her views, but I always think this has had to do with money for her. I think that because in this interview, she brings up the money aspect. She's like, I could have been doing this. I could have lied for years and made $1 million. And I'm like, exactly.
I love when people call me a grifter. I could have been a millionaire by now. I'm not a millionaire because I want to speak my mind, and TYT has been the only place that's allowed me to do it.
Your gripe has always been that you are not making enough, that you are not making a lot of money. You have literally on air talked shit on Hassan because he's making more money than you. She's done that. And so I do think that this has to do with money. I do think that she wants more money. And I do think that has a bit to do with it. I do think that she has actually changed her views, or maybe she's been like this the whole time and was actually lying about the progressive stuff. Not sure. Some of this has to do with money because she keeps bringing it up. She says in this interview, it all came to a head when she was talking to Glenn Beck. She talks about how Mayor Mondale left TYT very publicly and talked about how, like, Glenn Beck, and it wasn't just Glenn Beck, I don't think he was just talking about Glenn Beck, is dangerous to Black bodies. And Tucker Carlson, of course, laughs hysterically at this. She has actually said before that she's not comfortable around Black people because she's afraid to talk to them. She's afraid of what she's gonna say. And so, to me, I'm just like, oh, so you're racist and you walk through this world like a privileged white lady, and now you're talking to people like Tucker Carlson who are white nationalists, and you want to laugh at someone who's supposedly supposed to be your coworker, laugh at him when he says he is not comfortable with where you are going. He is not comfortable with where TYT is going. Instead of listening to him, you are going to sit here and mock him in front of a white nationalist. That is so messed up, and she is racist. I'm sick and tired of I'm not gonna like sugarcoat anything anymore, okay? Like I don't want to sugarcoat things. Like I don't sugarcoat with my family. When they're racist, I call them racist. She is racist. She is being racist. I'm sure she doesn't care because obviously she's had this inside her for a long time and it finally feels free enough to let it out. He thinks it's hilarious. It's not funny. It's not funny. There have been many people who have left that show who are Black and brown, who are trans, who are women, because they don't feel comfortable on that show anymore. And a lot of that has to do with Anna. So is she proud of that? Is she proud of that? Because she seems like she is. Because her next thing is like, oh, well, Cenk would never cancel anyone. He would, he always lets me say what I believe and it doesn't matter. And she admits that they've actually lost money because of this. She admits that they have lost viewers and they have lost money because of this, which of course they have, which everyone has been saying that they have. And Cenk's like, oh, we're fine. No, you're not. You're losing your base. You are losing your base because you want to sit here and you want to kowtow to right-wingers. She's saying that she did nothing wrong. She never did anything to anyone and her views just changed and that's it. Not true. She's been going after people on the left this whole time. She's gone after people who I think would consider to be their friends, like Francesca, like Emma, people who were very charitable to her and nice to her. And then she started going off on them. Because they criticized her because she deserves criticism. So it's really interesting that Anna wants to blame the left and say it's all our fault for alienating her when she is going after people at the same time. And I feel like this, and that's the point of this, is like, that's why people are getting mad at you and Cenk. Because you'll sit down with Tucker Carlson, again, a white nationalist, have just be so hunky-dory, want to have a beer with him and all these things. But then when it comes to Francesco, when it comes to Emma, when it comes to all these other people, you're like, F them, I don't care about them, F them, they're not going to tell me what to say, blah, blah, blah. This is why people are mad at you, because you are throwing your own base that you worked for. She's like, I worked so hard, I was here from the beginning, how dare they tell me what I can say? And it's like, this is your base. If you have worked this hard to get this base and now you are throwing the same people under the bus, I don't know how you expect them to act. I don't know what you expect them to say. When you keep blaming people on the left for all of your problems, then yeah, the people who are on the left, who are your base that you admit that you spent all these years cultivating, yeah, they're gonna get mad and they're gonna leave. Of course they are. Why would they stay? Why would they stay? It's so ridiculous, and she can't take any accountability. That's not what this is. That's why I'm saying this does have a bit to do with money, and I promise you it does, because like, I don't, like, why else would she sit here and embarrass herself like that? Why else would she sit here and embarrass herself like that? Just no dignity. They know that there is no other option because they are losing their base, because they are losing money and they are losing views. I mean, she still has really good takes on Palestine, and like, I'm really happy that they let her on CNN, they let her on Piers Morgan, and she has great takes on Palestine, so I'm happy people are seeing those. But it's like everything else, it sucks. Like, everything else just sucks. When she comes back on TYT, because I guess she took like a week off, when she comes back on TYT, she literally is like, I went to his house, I think it's in Maine. I think it's in Maine, I don't know. She's like, I went to this house in Maine, and like, he just lives such a humble life. He lives in rural Maine. He just lives such a humble life. I cannot. Like, do you have no self-respect? Does Anna have zero self-respect? Like, how are you going to go on the internet and spread obvious lies that people know you are wrong about? There's no way. Dude, he lives in a mansion. I don't care if he lives in rural Maine, or I don't care if it's super rural. He lives in a mansion. I have seen pictures from that where he's on his lawn and his big lawnmower thing that you sit in. That's expensive. I'm sorry. Who has that?
One of the main reasons why I decided to go on his podcast is because I'm curious about him, right? Like, we see him in the media, we hear what he has to say, but it's entirely different to get to experience it for yourself. And he lives in rural Maine. It is as rural as it gets. He employs locals. He lives pretty modest.
This man is a Nepo baby, okay? He's literally a trust fund baby. What the hell? And then he has like 2 other houses in Florida. So she's sitting here like, man, he lives such a humble life. He lives such a humble life. Like, don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult anybody's, just stop insulting our intelligence. Like, are you kidding me? Do you think people are gonna fall for this shit? Oh, Tucker Carlson, the Nepo trust fund baby, who is literally a white nationalist that helped radicalize everybody's parents and grandparents, have any kind of self-respect. He radicalized people's parents. He radicalized my parents. Like, I remember the day so distinctly when my family looked me dead in the face, and told me that I should listen to Tucker Carlson because he's not as extreme as everybody else, and I should listen to him because he's more of a moderate and I would probably like him. I was in such disbelief in that moment that they just said that to me. In such disbelief, because I'm like, what? What? Like, Tucker Carlson is one of the most extreme. He is just very good at dog whistles. He was very good at dog whistles. And I remember every time I would watch him, I would feel like I was going insane. Like, I literally felt like my brain was like melting because he was creating this whole other universe, this whole other reality. And he was very good at doing that. He has now started going after people like Ted Cruz and stuff like that. Again, because he can see where the tide is shifting. He is good at seeing what is going on. He is good at understanding the moment, unfortunately. And of course, they're asking him if he's gonna run for 2028, which I swear to God. No, I'm like actually worried about him. Like, Donald Trump is dumb and stupid, okay? But Tucker Carlson, he's like a real, like, that would be very bad. In my opinion, I think that would be extremely bad, in my opinion. But of course, TYT's like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna run. I wonder if he's gonna run. He's probably gonna run. Like, oh my God, like laundering this man's reputation. Like he hasn't done extreme damage. Like he hasn't done extreme damage to political discourse. It's the same thing with the populism and all this stuff. Like, you cannot sit here and believe them, because if you keep believing them, like Vanguard said, was like, you know, a lot of the reason we're in the situation we're in is because people believed Trump when he said he was anti-war. People believed Trump when he said he was a populist. People believed him, and he obviously was lying. So it's like, they can say that they're good on an issue all they want. They can do this all they want, but do they really mean it? 9 times out of 10, no. So are they ever going to offer a real solution? No. Feeding into people believing them and feeding into that delusion is insane to me. It doesn't make any sense. And like, I was also watching Waj. I forgot who he had on with him, but it was this guy who went to the Turning Point USA conference, and he was saying that, you know, they will say all the right things, but then they'll be like economic populist, blah, 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 blah. But then they'll be like, that's why you need to invest in crypto. Or like, that's why immigrants are taking your jobs. And there's never a real solution. It's just always a scapegoat, but there's never a real solution. So it's just taking people around in circles. And that is true. And that is true. And that's why everyone on the left is like, stop it. Like, stop it. Like, they're saying this, yes, because they understand the moment that we're in. But are they actually going to do anything about it? No. Are they going to try to scapegoat marginalized communities instead? Yes. That's what I think. I was obviously very fiery because I was already mad about my microphone not working. And yeah. But yeah, I gotta go and I gotta try to get this flash tattoo. It's the place I'm going to had a similar event. I might do a short on it. But this place I'm going, it's a local place called Golden Gems. They had a event a couple months ago, and I went and I got there too late. I'm usually so early to flash events because I want the tattoo. I know I have to be there early, but that time I couldn't. I need to get there so early this time, so I need to leave. But yeah, all right. Hopefully this was okay. I really don't think this mic is gonna be that good, but I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Actually, if you could help me have any suggestions on like a streaming setup or what I need to do, that would be really amazing. I've been looking it up and it's been very overwhelming because I want to get a better camera. I'm getting a new laptop. I want to get a Mac, but again, apparently those aren't very good for streaming. It's been a whole thing. And so I'm not really sure what to do. Any suggestions would literally just be so amazing and would help me out immensely. So yeah, also tell me what you think below. Today is very chaotic, I apologize. Tell me what you think below, and hopefully the next time you see a video from me, it won't be this crazy. Yeah. I almost hit my head again. I can't hit my head again. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and all the things. And I will see you in the next video. That's hopefully not as crazy. Okay, bye. Bye. Shout out to my members. Thank you to all my members. We have Troy Roberto and Queen of Daydreams. Thank you so much for supporting me. It means the world to me, honestly. And if you want to get a shout out, please join my membership and support my channel. Bye.